Hey there, I've got some breaking news that could affect your wallet, especially if you've been keeping track of those stimulus checks. Today, we're diving into a game changing bill that's stirring up quite the buzz in Washington, and it could mean significant changes for millions of seniors like you. Remember those stimulus payments that helped so many of us weather the economic storm? Well, buckle up, because Congress is looking at a fresh approach that specifically considers the unique financial challenges faced by older Americans. Here's the kicker. Unlike previous stimulus measures, this proposal takes into account rising healthcare costs, prescription drug prices, and the real impact of inflation on fixed incomes. You might be wondering, haven't we seen this before? But trust me, this is different. This bill includes some fascinating new provisions that previous stimulus packages didn't even touch. We're talking about potential adjustments based on regional cost of living differences, something seniors across different states have been asking for years. And here's something that caught my attention. There's serious discussion about how Social Security benefits could interact with these new stimulus provisions. For those of you balancing retirement income with rising expenses, this could be a real game changer. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what these changes could mean for your monthly budget, who would qualify, and most importantly, what you need to do to stay ahead of these developments. I've spent hours analyzing the fine print, so you don't have to. And believe me, there are some surprising details you won't want to miss. If you're interested in securing your financial future and staying informed about these potential changes, you won't want to skip a single minute of this video. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know, step by step. Hit that like button right now if you want to see more content that keeps you ahead of the curve on retirement benefits and financial updates. And stick around, because what I'm about to share could make a real difference in your financial planning. Trust me, this is information you'll want to share with your friends and family too. Now, let's dive deep into what's really happening with this proposed bill. You know, every time I analyze legislation like this, I'm reminded of how complex these changes can be for seniors like you and me. As someone who's been following these developments closely, I want to break this down in a way that makes perfect sense. First, let's talk about what sparked this new bill. Over the past few years, we've seen how traditional stimulus payments, while helpful, didn't fully address the unique challenges that seniors face. Think about it. When prices at the grocery store keep climbing and prescription costs seem to have no ceiling, a one size fits all approach just doesn't cut it. That's exactly what got lawmakers' attention. The interesting part about this new proposal is how it specifically considers the senior population. We're looking at a potential monthly benefit structure rather than a one time payment. Imagine getting additional support that's actually aligned with the real cost increases you're experiencing. That's what makes this bill different from anything we've seen before. Here's something that really caught my attention when I was reviewing the details. The bill proposes a sliding scale based on your current retirement income. This means if you're relying solely on Social Security, you might qualify for a higher stimulus amount compared to seniors with multiple income sources. It's like they finally understood that not all retirees are in the same boat. You might be wondering about the numbers, and I don't blame you. While the exact amounts are still being debated, we're looking at potential monthly payments ranging from $200 to $500, depending on your specific situation. But here's where it gets really interesting. These amounts could be adjusted based on where you live. Someone in New York City might receive a different amount than someone in rural Kansas, acknowledging the vast differences in living costs across our country. Let's talk about how this could affect your Social Security benefits, because this is where many seniors get concerned. Unlike previous stimulus programs, this bill has been carefully crafted to ensure it won't negatively impact your existing benefits. In fact, there's a provision that specifically protects your Social Security payments from any potential reductions. That's a huge win for seniors who are worried about their base benefits being affected. The qualification process is another aspect that's been completely revamped. Instead of just looking at your adjusted gross income from your last tax return, they're considering multiple factors. This includes your medical expenses, whether you're still paying a mortgage, and even your utility costs. It's like they're finally taking a holistic view of what it really means to be a senior on a fixed income in today's economy. Now, let's get into some of the lesser known aspects of this bill that aren't making headlines, but could significantly impact you. There's a fascinating provision about prescription drug costs. The bill includes a mechanism that could provide additional stimulus amounts if your prescription costs exceed a certain percentage of your income. This is huge for seniors dealing with expensive medications. Another interesting element is the proposed technology allowance. Yes, you heard that right. The bill recognizes that in today's digital world, seniors need internet access and basic technology to stay connected and manage their health care. There's a potential additional allowance specifically for these expenses. This shows they're thinking about modern senior living, not just basic necessities. The timeline for implementation is something many of you are probably curious about. While the bill is still making its way through Congress, there is a proposed fast track implementation plan. If passed, the first payments could start reaching eligible seniors within 60 days. They're planning to use the existing Social Security payment system to distribute these funds, which means no new complicated processes for you to learn. But here's something you really need to know. There's a proposed review process every 6 months. This means the payment amounts could be adjusted based on changes in the economy, inflation rates, and cost of living increases. This flexibility is something we've never seen in previous stimulus programs, and it could make a real difference in maintaining your purchasing power over time. Let's talk about how this could affect your tax situation, because that's a concern I've heard from many viewers. The good news is that these proposed stimulus payments will be classified as non-taxable income. This means you won't have to worry about these payments pushing you into a higher tax bracket or affecting your other benefits eligibility. There's also an interesting provision about retroactive payments. If the bill passes, there's a possibility that you could receive back payments dating to the beginning of the current tax year. This could mean a significant initial payment for many seniors who qualify. The bill also includes some protections against fraud, which is something I know many of you are concerned about. They're planning to implement a new verification system that makes it harder for scammers to take advantage of seniors while making it easier for legitimate recipients to receive their benefits. What really impresses me about this bill is how it considers future economic changes. There's a built-in escalator clause that would automatically adjust payment amounts based on inflation rates. This means you wouldn't have to wait for Congress to pass new legislation every time the economy shifts. The adjustments would happen automatically. Looking at the broader impact, this bill could affect more than just your monthly budget. It could help stimulate local economies, especially in communities with large senior populations. When seniors have more spending power, it benefits local businesses, healthcare providers, and service industries. I've also noticed some interesting provisions about emergency situations. The bill includes mechanisms to increase payment amounts during periods of economic crisis or natural disasters. This kind of flexibility could provide extra security during challenging times. The reporting requirements are also worth mentioning. The bill mandates regular reports to Congress about the program's effectiveness, which means there will be ongoing oversight and opportunities for adjustments based on real-world results. This transparency could help ensure the program actually meets seniors' needs over time. Now, if you're wondering how this compares to similar programs in other countries, I've done some research on that too. Several other nations have implemented targeted support programs for seniors, and this bill seems to incorporate some of the most successful elements from those programs while adapting them to our unique economic situation. Remember, while this all sounds promising, it's important to stay informed about any changes or amendments as the bill moves through Congress. The final version might look somewhat different from what we're discussing today, but the core focus on providing meaningful support to seniors appears to be a priority. So there you have it, a comprehensive look at how this new bill could transform stimulus benefits for seniors. It's clear that lawmakers are finally recognizing the unique challenges faced by older Americans and are working to create a more responsive and flexible support system.